Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the size, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity. Flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah, Nicky's. Yeah, OnChain revolution. OnChain. OnChain revolution, Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, change. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy, and I'm trying to recover the entire crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and today is going to be absolutely insane, guys, because Bitcoin is running, and it is running hard right now. 119,300. I think we head back into the 120s. I think we reach all-time high very, very soon, and I wasn't feeling this way until just a little bit ago. Just kind of watching the charts here. You got Ethereum running back to 37. 38 is coming, guys. We need to pass 3850 to kind of get back over that 4,000. That 4,100 needs to be passed and needs to be passed quickly in Ethereum. That is the leading indicator for alt season. And everyone was so bearish. I'm watching Rand Nooner for Crypto Banter this morning. The guy got me feeling so bearish. So bearish. But right now, I am hyped, guys. I am excited. Shout out to Agent Hustle. He's running right now. Another reason why I'm excited, but I'm excited for a lot of different reasons too. I mean, we do have Bitcoin dominance dropping again. We do have the DXY dropping again. All the indicators are coming back. It did feel like we were kind of going sideways there for a second, but now it feels like the other way. And I could be wrong. We could go right back being sideways in like 10 minutes, right? I don't know, man. I'm excited, guys. We don't really have a lot of news today, so I'm going to need your help today. I need as many comments as possible today. We're going to be reading your comments throughout the entire show today because I got seriously like 4 or 5 news articles, but it doesn't matter. We're still going to have an amazing time today. We're going to go over maybe some alpha type of stuff. We're going to look at some coin market cap. So much to go over, guys. I'm excited. You should be excited as well. So without further ado, bringing my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? Dude, the craziest thing happened. I spilled my drink like right before I went in there. So I went in there, I'm like, oh, like jittery chatter now. But how you doing today?
And you were still able to have all that energy and positive sentiment.
I think that's why.
With the intro. Oh, okay, got you. You're like, oh, must have been hot water or something. You're like, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
good.
there's it's a little bit volatile right now with what we're seeing, with Ethereum and some of these alts, right? The thing is that these alts really didn't even get a chance to really move, right? Yes, XRP, the blue chips, some of these majors that have been established forever did, but some of these mid caps, the newer ones like Merlin yesterday jumped up to 16 cents and stuff like that, but it was just getting started. So I think it's going to be very important to see how Ethereum reacts here. Two things. One, does it continue the exhaustion of the daily chart? The daily chart looks like we, wanted to kind of come to a close with the buy pressure, and it was showing a little bit of that, right? We got down to, I believe, mid to low 3,500s. Second thing, if Bitcoin does decide to take a leap up, how does Ethereum react to it? Does it go up aggressively with it? Because if that's the case, and I think your guy Rand Neuner is probably not going to be very right in Ethereum pulling back. I think maybe he said 3,100. I'm not sure if he said that, but aggressively at least. And so those are two things to look at, and I'm paying attention to right now. But it is exciting to see this energy. We needed this energy because up until that happened, I felt like it felt kind of like a ghost town a little bit again, which is not a good feeling. But yeah, we'll see how the day plays out. More importantly, how the week finishes. Sunday is going to be a big day.
No, 100%. Sunday will be that weekly close is really going to set us up, and we do have Trump right now at the Fed. He walked in the doors about like 15 minutes ago, so he's probably looking at the doors and saying, with the billions of dollars in taxpayer money, let's see what this place looks like. You know what I mean? So I don't know, because they are fixing up the Fed building, but maybe he'll sit down with Jerome. I think maybe they'll have a burger together and kind of sit there and be like, hey, what can we do for you to drop rate? Just drop it a little bit, just a little bit. But that'll be enough to set off an insane, that'll be the match on all the lighter fluid. I feel like all these coins right now have lighter fluid spilled all over them. And the lightest spark, man, could just send everything ripping very quickly. Me and you were talking this morning, and, July, we never really seen a bullish July before. This is the first one. August, we never really seen a bullish August before. We've always hoped. Remember last year we were kind of hoping for a bullish August. The year before we're hoping for a bullish August. Never really got it. September has always been garbage, in at least my last 5 years, right? But you think that that this could change? I know you're saying this morning that potentially, but I don't know, man. I feel like with these markets pumping, someone knows something.
So the summer definitely was different this year than what we've seen in the past, and I know we're just not really too deep into the summer. We've been well into like a month, right? Or a little bit more than a month. But with that being said, I think a lot of people were thinking, okay, the sell-in may go away, but typically you don't come back until when? When does that happen? I'm not sure.
Late August, early September.
Yeah, right. Again. So August is typically an okay month. Like, it could be like where you took time off, you want to get your energy back, you want to get in the markets, and then September typically not. But because we had an untypical, opposite of the typical summer, I don't know what to really expect for September as well. Now, I think October, November, December, we all expect, some action and liveliness in the markets. And so how soon does that start? Do we get a break? Because the difference between this cycle and the previous bull market years is that there was a break between the first time that Ethereum and alts went up and then kind of started to come down, and a pretty long break between spring and fall, winterish. Our break was in the beginning of the year. It was like the first 6 months, right? We didn't get anything. And so now, because we missed that, do they kind of sandwich this together and we get just a tiny little break, you know what I mean? Which I think that's what I'm more thinking happens. We'll see.
Yeah, 100%, dude. You're right. January to June was awful, completely awful. I mean, down only. And now I feel like maybe the next 6 months could be up only because of that, right? And a lot of people are saying potentially, we have 6 months, like, Colin Talks Crypto is basically saying that. We'll get into that in a little bit. Let's kind of get into the first topic of the day here, which is bull market or bull trap, right? So that kind of is what we're in right now. 750 million USDC just minute on Solana. We are seeing billions of dollars in stable coins getting printed. I'm in the camp saying we're going to be over 2 trillion in stable coins by next February. On chain, right? Because I think a lot of especially with the Genius Act, I feel a lot of companies are going to create stable coins. A lot of ones are going to create their own, and potentially just get ready to have stable coins in wallets and stuff like that. So, what do you think, man? Bull market or bull trap?
So that is kind of exactly what I just explained, right? It's like,
Yeah.
do we take a break here? And it could still be a small bull trap, you know what I mean? In terms of, oh, do we continue this on? We just know, with the past experience in markets that like whenever the space is so over leveraged on one side, typically there will be a pullback, right? We just don't know how strong the pullback's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a trap like the Bears want it to be. I think maybe if anything, we see some pullback, healthy pullback, and then we continue on with the strong push up. So that's my outlook on it. Could be wrong, but that's how I see it. So bull market's still there. It's confirmed. We have started it. I truly believe that. But the trap is not going to look like a trap. It's going to look like a healthy correction.
Yeah, 100%. But what if we just saw a bear trap? We do have like Rand Nooner falling into a trap there. If he's getting out 20% cash, and then the market goes the other way, I mean that's the ultimate bull trap. What we're just in, right? And now you do have, Ethereum's about to go over to potentially 3,800 in the next hour or so. I mean that's the way the charts look, and you have Bitcoin dominance. I mean we were just talking about how good dominance looked. Look at the difference now. I mean, this looks like it was exactly what Benjamin Cohen said. It was a higher low, but he was expecting the higher low to be closer to 64. But what if the higher low was 62? And now potentially dropping back down. I mean, we do need to get down to 58. What do you think by this chart? Looking at this right now, what is this telling you? It's telling you potentially go, drop lower, or do you think maybe we go a little higher?
Well, I think we got to finish the day first, right? Let's finish the day first and see if this candle is in fact ends in the red candle, because you can see with that wick that it's already pulled back pretty substantially. But again, does it go down further? Does it kind of say, okay, this was just a breather type of thing in the Bitcoin dominance, and we're gonna actually see a lot lower here? That's going to be important to me. And then also, let's say it ends the candle like how it is right now. Then tomorrow is going to be very important, in my opinion, because if we have a follow-up red candle that's pretty aggressive, then back on, in my opinion. I feel like we're back on, right? At least, that's where I'm leaning towards. But if we have a green candle tomorrow, then it's just a little break in between, kind of getting back to 64.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, man. All right. So Bitcoin is primed for a massive short squeeze. This is something I've seen online a few different times, right? They're saying that we are primed for a massive short squeeze here. A lot of shorts, man, in here at 120, and if we can bounce through that. Is this something that you're seeing? I know you look at a lot of liquidation charts and stuff. Are you seeing this as well? This is from Cointelegraph, right? This is from 8:30 this morning. Bitcoin prime for massive short squeeze. Liquidity stacks above 118. Did we just see that potentially as well?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there's about $400 million worth of short squeeze potential above, where we are now, right? So they could liquidate about 400 million, getting to 120. And so it's more substantial on the short side. I was a bit surprised actually that the downside isn't as over leveraged right now. I was looking at I think it was the 24-hour heat map though, but with that being said, it's possible. And the thing was, we just finished the short squeeze last week, though. You know what I mean? And so it was more for Ethereum as well. By the way,
Yeah.
a lot of shorts, I think, on the Ethereum side that was got liquidated last week. So we'll see if this plays out. But I mean, so far today, is a first step to see if we get back to where we were last week. That's what's the important thing. And if we do start to drive down aggressively, then we know, what I mean, we know that. Sorry, if we drive up aggressively, which drives down the dominance chart, then we know that they're trying to squeeze the shorts again.
Yeah, man, 100%. We'll see what happens. Can you read this? Because I can't. You know what these this is kind of saying
The
here?
more yellow it is, the more liquidity there is, right? So there's higher concentrations of liquidity in those areas. So when you're looking at a here, actually, I'll pull up the liquidity heat map real quick, so the audience can kind of. God dang it, I picked the wrong one here. Give me 1 second. That one is the one I want. Yeah, so let me pull this up real quick and I will show what that stuff means here real quick. But I think it's important to look at this because you know it does give you some idea if like you're close to the area, right? So you can see here it says 24-hour Binance. This is the Binance heat map, which is, you know, does a ton of volume. So I think this is okay to use and kind of average out versus everything that's there. But you can see right now, like this is where we are, right? For Bitcoin. And so is that let me pull this in. I don't know why that's doing that.
Oh, so
Okay.
they basically took the same chart that you're looking at here.
Yeah. This is the same thing. It's on CoinGlass for the people that are in the audience
Gotcha.
that are wondering, coinglass.com there. But like you can see right here, this is the yellow part. When you hover over that, it says liquidation leverage, 98 million, right? So that's just this level right here. If you go up three more levels, then 77 million. So as you're rising up, you're liquidating these amounts and then you're accumulating, right? So they're, you know, between what price is this 119,889 and 120,155, you got about 170 million dollars worth of liquidations just between those levels. So I mean, they've already hit these levels here on the way up, so they still have, you know, 57 million at 119,712, 62 million at 119,800, and then et cetera, right? So there's a good amount to grab here, and they're close to that region, right? So do they do that? Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they fake it out like they're going to, but most times I would think, you know, especially if there's an aggressive push up, that they're trying to grab that. Now if you're looking on the downside, it does start to pick up here at 117. So on the you know, to liquidate the longs, it's 117, you got a $62 million liquidation level, 117, 410, 55. So it's starting to build back up. So this looked a little bit you know, sparse and not so much earlier today or late yesterday, but now it's starting to pick up a little bit. But they'll probably grab this area before, I imagine, going back down.
Yeah, man, sounds good. It sounds very bullish. But we will see. I bet it's pulling back a little bit right now. I don't know, man. The price got me pumped right now. Colin Talks Crypto is basically saying that it feels like we're about 6 months from away from the top. This kind of puts it in kind of what you were kind of thinking there. So this is his thing here. I'll read it real quick. He said it feels like Bitcoin is about 6 months away from the top. Sentiment is still super low. Takes time for retail to get excited, and sentiment is basically as low as it gets right now. And this is kind of what he's saying. Like, I didn't even realize this, that like we are like low in sentiment. Like it is bad. I mean, we're back at like 2019 lows here, even lower than 2019 in sentiment wise, meaning people paying attention. He says all technical indicators are widely bullish with a lot of room to run up. BTC monthly candle breakout, CBBI, that's like his own indicator, relatively underheated. A global M2 money supply hasn't stopped climbing. S&P 500 just broke new all-time highs, etc. Government and corporate Bitcoin treasuries have barely been begun. I think we'll see that hype in full swing as we move closer to the top. We're not there yet. Not really even that close. 6+ months. So he's basically saying, you know, 6 months from right now would be January, right? January, February. But what do you think, man? Just like, do you still feel like we are like this low in like this indicator and sentiment?
Is that specifically for Bitcoin though?
So this is Bitcoin's price indicator dashboard. So I'm guessing it is because this is Bitcoin's price action.
Okay,
right?
so that, because I was going to say that doesn't align with the Google searches for Ethereum and
well, we had this run up here, right, in the last couple weeks. So it's like we came off the bottom though.
Yeah. So I think we need to see how you know far this comes up, because I think this the way he analyzed this is a bit unfair because we just started to bring that back up, right?
Yeah.
So I think rechecking this probably next month would be a good idea to see if we, you know, continually to rise up, because we're still lower than the previous, you know, that previous high that we see right there, that marker on the thing. So we got to get past that. But yeah, I mean, I think we're a little bit our perspective can get skewed because, you know, we're in an echo chamber a little bit with crypto Twitter, right? So whenever people get excited, we all get excited together is kind of the idea. And so yeah, I think we got to see more retail activity to bring this up. And there's a start that happened 2 weeks ago. I mean, it's a fact. We see the data on Google searches and stuff like that. So I can't really say that that's exactly how we are, because in my mind, from a marketing person that's been in marketing for a long time, I feel like the data is about to change.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Do you think it's possible for us to even get up here? I don't even know if it's even possible anymore. Being like, I mean, this is 2.5 years just down. Like, I guess we've seen it back here, right? Like, it
Yeah.
probably felt the same way, and then we did pop up.
Yeah, I think we could get back there. But also, there might be some catalysts and stuff that we need, rate cuts. We need some probably people feeling a little rich right now. The problem is that regular everyday people don't feel that way yet. They don't feel like they have extra money, right?
Yeah.
Most of them are trying to pay off their credit cards. All right. So
Yeah, credit card debt's at an all-time high. It's never been higher than it is today.
Exactly. So that's what I mean by that. And I think that if we can get into like an environment like that, you got to remember COVID was really destructive in terms of the economy at first, but it was a very short time period. It was just more doom and gloom. And then a lot of this assistance came in, whatever it was, PPP loans or whatever, and the stimulus rate cuts went to zero, right? Or, like very, very low. And so that made people eventually kind of start to feel rich, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a bad time. So if we can get something like, I think like 30% of that or 40-50% of that, then I think that's how we get back up to those levels.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I can't wait. I can't wait, dude. I can't wait to just like hear people talking about crypto again. Just do you remember how it was in 2021 and how it's just like it's just you were just like I was so happy just like put on a YouTube show and just be like, all right, this is awesome, this is great. But right now it's like I watch the YouTube stuff and it's just like everyone's just kind of still like begging, right? It feels like everyone's still like, all right, guys, we got wait rooms to come. Like everyone's so hopeful. At the same time, it feels like everyone's still like in that like I really, really hope I'm right. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I can't wait for people to feel like they were right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, unit bias with retail, right?
Yeah,
I can't buy Bitcoin right now. That's
true.
that's a dream. That's a pipe dream. But what can I get for the next Bitcoin opportunity, right? That's I think what people are going to start thinking about, and that's what's going to drive them back. But you got to have some excitement to say markets are back. Then they're going to be like, okay, what am I going to gamble on, right?
Yeah.
And so we got a little bit of that. And so I think that's why some of these channels are kind of just coming out and said, we're not fully in there. We just, we've taken one step. Ethereum hasn't even gotten too close to its all-time high yet. I mean,
True.
getting past the 4,100 is something that will kind of, gear us towards what you're talking about, to where people are just excited, euphoria everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting to this number. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it takes getting over this for people. I mean, we got rejected 3 times from here. 3 separate times we got rejected from this lineup here. So it's pretty crazy.
You know what
And
that
then
creates?
the 4th time breaking through.
That creates PTSD.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah. No, you're right. That's kind of why we did come all the way up and then kind of go back down. People just kind of taking profit on that as well. But yeah, man, let's move along here. President Trump to visit the Federal Reserve today. Since the Illuminist says Jay Powell, some people call him Jerome, some people call him Jay. I don't know why, but she said he allowed a checkpoint 2.0, choke point 2.0 to happen under his watch. It's time for him to go. And this is something I asked you this morning when I was doing the research. I was like, how much did he like not get involved there? How much, or did he get involved there with choke point 2.0? And you kind of said like he does have he talks to the banks. He's like part of the middleman in that, right?
he is. Well, he's the leader in that entity that does control a lot of the banking. Not a lot of it, but like they have like this piano over the banking industry, right? Okay, like if you support crypto with your customers, we might have to consider, giving you a strike towards your FDIC, whatever, like your support in that aspect, and is that definitely they did that, or some sort of aspect of that, right? And so I think that's what she means by that, right? Like people don't realize how much power the Fed actually has. They have a ton of power, so much power that like it's hard to get rid of the chair, right? Even though they're considered a private entity and separate from the government. So I think that's what Cynthia Luma means. Senator Loomis means when she's talking about this, because he could have eased up on that. Instead, he kind of doubled, tripled down. But I think he was also, you know, aligned with the previous administration. That's the thing that people got to realize, is that, like, you know, he was they were on the same page, and so that's probably why, you know, he was very making sure that this choke point 2.0. And you have to remember too, you know, there's a lot that goes into this stuff that we don't know about. I speculate a lot because I love to do that because I'm a conspiracy guy. But, you know, like, in my opinion, I have the utmost confidence that I think, like, the intelligence agencies were a part of choke point 2.0 as well. You know, making sure that it was handled correctly, the plan was rolled out correctly, all this stuff. They did not like digital currencies because it took power away from the Fed and the government in their eyes, right? But the way, if you create the system right, you don't lose too much, you know, power as a government. You actually give more power back to your citizens, but in a way that they, you know, they'll be able to thrive, which will help the country in general. So
yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, man. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, that would be great if he just resigns at this point. Like, you know, I guess I didn't realize how much power he had, especially with Operation Choke Point. Operation Choke Point was something like they were saying it didn't exist, and it was so obvious, right? It was so obvious that they were trying to choke off crypto. They almost killed crypto. I mean, they killed the sediment. I mean, that's kind of why, you know, the charts are low, because I remember that too. People were like, "Oh, the Fed's going to ban Bitcoin," and it was like, where I was like, you know, and stuff like that. So I don't know. Moving along here, though, Elon Musk's Tesla reveals it did not buy any more Bitcoin, but it still holds its 11,509 Bitcoin, now worth 1.2 billion. So Elon came out yesterday very, very bearish on Tesla. He basically said, for the first time ever, Elon's never, but he said he's going to spend, you know, the next 6 months all of his time on Tesla. He said they are behind on basically everything. But I am happy they didn't sell any of their Bitcoin. But Tesla is one of the market movers. If Tesla rises, usually Bitcoin follows it. Honestly, if Tesla drops, Bitcoin follows that, because Bitcoin is so in line right now with the Nasdaq and with the you know, the S&P. But what do you think, though? Do you think that maybe it's time for Bitcoin to kind of break away from some of these stock prices?
well, I don't know, because they're getting folded into TradFi more and more, but in a different way, right? So they have more respect from TradFi as from the industry. So um, I'm not sure they can completely ever break away, but maybe not be as sensitive towards what happens, you know, with TradFi. We'll see though if that's the case. You know, but Tesla, I don't necessarily think, you know, that that Bitcoin is getting affected by, like, Tesla's numbers and stuff. Obviously, you know, Tesla is a leader in TradFi, but Bitcoin has its own strength. I do think that within TradFi, it would have to be TradFi as a whole suffering and then affect Bitcoin, not like, you know, one major component of it as a whole. I think it would have to, but that's good that they still hold their Bitcoin and didn't sell that down, even though they had bad numbers, because they could have easily sold down some Bitcoin and said, okay, look, we're going to kind of try to give our, you know, be able to do more operational stuff with this. But they held on to it because he knows the value of it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so that's actually a really good note, honestly, because what they could have done, they could have sold Bitcoin down and say, hey, we profited, you know, Tesla profited, you know, and then potentially skewed the numbers a little bit with some Bitcoin earnings, but they didn't. So, moving along here, though, Trump's World Liberty Financial bought another 560 Ethereum yesterday with a $2 million USDC. So they came in and they bought the dip yesterday. Yeah, that's, you know, that's something I guess should have been telling and why we're up today. I mean, they you know, they don't really have a lot of funds with World Liberty, but they do buy, you know, when the market is dipping.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart that they continually do this. So it's almost kind of like the strategy approach, right? When Bitcoin dips to a certain extent, there's a certain amount of times he'll do it. He'll pick up more Bitcoin, but if it gets too aggressive, he might take a break. But, you know, it seems like they're just taking advantage of a pulled back ETH. But is it pulled back? Because, I mean, we see it at 37.42 right now, and to me, that's pulled back from where its local high has been at that 38.60, but it's not really too pulled back. We're going to see how strong it rolls today. But they acquired this probably whenever it was 35. They triggered like a big buy probably at like 35.40 or 60 whenever it dipped down below.
Yeah, man, 100%. People do watch their portfolio a lot. So, BlackRock says de-dollarization is driving central banks to diversify and consider Bitcoin as a reserve strategy. What do you think about central banks? Potentially bring in reserve. Obviously, here in the U.S., we need Congress to kind of vote on that. We are hoping that Trump actually says the reserve currency. They are putting out a full document on the 31st of everything that they're planning to do, and we're hoping that a full Bitcoin reserve against the dollar would be absolutely amazing. But BlackRock is saying it's not just the U.S. All the other countries are actually considering Bitcoin as gold, as a reserve strategy.
Yeah, and this is probably something that worries huge entities like BlackRock, right? Because they got to make sure that their client portfolio, which keeps them, thriving, is secure, and everything's backed by the dollar, right? So when they start to see some countries, being a little bit careful and scared, it's definitely going to raise their eyebrows and say, hey, we got to have another strategy here. So Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does like end up backing the dollar, I think that would be a really big thing for the dollar. But there's so much debt to the dollar that they would still have to really put a good strategy together to really start chopping down that debt. And you and I both have talked about like Bitcoin being probably the easiest path to that. Now, it's still probably gonna be very hard. They're gonna have to come up with a strategy on how to do that consistently and to where it makes sense. And they don't want to, they're gonna have to do it in chunks. And what would that do as well to other than the fact that like the dollars will be worth a lot more, right? So I don't know, because it could that whole situation, they would just have to put together a really good strategy. Because if you think if Bitcoin backs the dollar and the dollar value goes up, then the debt number goes up too, because it's owed in dollars, right? So it's an interesting situation that we got to figure out. But these companies are seeing it, and I think that's a good clear sign that Bitcoin is going to be the answer. And a lot of people have known that for a while, but now these huge institutions are basically confirming it.
Yeah, man, 100%, 100%. Active loans on Ethereum lending protocols hit 30 billion, up 27 billion since January 2023. So, that seemed to be the end of the bear market for a lot of loans got liquidated and stuff like that. But now, it's over that now. It's over what it used to be. Highest amount of loans ever on Ethereum right now, $30 billion. Think about that for a second, right? There's a chain, a decentralized chain that nobody really owns, and it has $30 billion of loans and people that are actually basically lending their USDC and actually getting paid on that. So that's another value. You basically on Aave or something like that, you'll basically put money into like a vault type system. People can borrow that against their Ethereum. If Ethereum drops below a certain place, they get liquidated. That Ethereum kind of goes into a pool. So you basically win. But when you have a chance to be the bank on Ethereum, when a lot of places don't allow you to. But there's $30 billion. Do you think this is mainly retail, or do you think this is big entities that are actually pushing this through?
I mean, it has to be. If it's retail, then no, I think it's more institutions, because I feel like retail is not even really here yet. But what are they utilizing the loans for, right? What are they?
Ethereum. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, to
so
buy more potentially.
buy more Ethereum, and so you can basically make money off of your Ethereum. But it's I think that's a little bit of a risky game, but maybe not so much right now, right? Because they're hearing that Ethereum's going to all these huge numbers and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It's a tricky game to play, but maybe not so much here, as long as they don't play it for too long. That's the thing, right? But the people that are lending out the money are benefiting from this. We've seen this in lending protocols, right? And so we'll see how this all plays out. I think it's early, so it's this is definitely interesting, and it shows activity that's happening. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. 100%. Yesterday, around $85 million of Bitcoin were sold, and $332 million of Ethereum were bought. So again, they're pushing down Bitcoin's price by selling down Bitcoin. Ethereum's kind of following Bitcoin, but they're buying Ethereum up. This is 3 days in a row of over $300 million of Ethereum being bought up. Like, these are inflows. So people are selling, but like the net inflow at the end of the day, at the end of the trading period, is $332 million every single day this week. Every day this week, 300 million. And Ethereum is still below 4,000.
Yeah, I brought this up the other day whenever you talked about the inflows in Ethereum's just being that much higher. That we experienced something similar last time, or like when the Bitcoin inflows started to really ramp up. We were wondering why the price wasn't, getting past that 70 something thousand and all this stuff. So maybe we're experiencing a little bit of that. I think the last buy, wave of huge buys with Ethereum were probably, people getting bullish, seeing SharpLink in the headlines. Tom Lee came out. I think that was a big push, and that was in the back of their minds. And then when Ethereum started to run a bit, they started to say, "Oh wow, this is true what they're saying," and everybody jumped on board, right? And so, but there'll be a catch-up period whenever a lot of these inflows really push it over, I think, and that could be the catalyst that does push it over to that the $4,100 mark that we've talked about.
Yeah, it does seem like the crypto exchanges are people are selling their Ethereum on the crypto exchanges, and the ETFs are buying this up, dude. They're buying they're buying OTC, so it doesn't affect the price. But they're selling on centralized exchanges, and then they're buying the ETF. So it's not, that's why you're not seeing like a push up in price. But what happens when they start buying on the exchanges and the ETF? I mean, that's when you just don't have enough Ethereum, and supply and demand, and potentially a shock comes in. And Ethereum being that leading indicator for a lot of people now, Bitcoin's no longer that indicator for a bull market. It's now Ethereum. Ethereum starts shooting up, man. It could get insane. It could really get insane very quickly. It's going to get crazy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about, trying to knock on the door of all-time highs before the summer's up, it could definitely get insane. But a lot of things need to level up, like I mentioned before we head into Q4, if they're going to be trying to hit all-time highs. And if we look at previous cycles in crypto, majority of the blue chips and established tokens, they do hit their all-time high that cycle. True. Some don't, some outliers and stuff like that. But for that to happen, I think we got to, for most of them, they got to get to another level, especially Ethereum, right? Like, I mean, we're talking about getting to 3,800, but the all-time high, we're $1,000 away from that. Beginning of April, we we're at 1,800, right? So, I think getting to 4,400 and fluctuating in that range before going into Q4 is going to be very important. 44 to 4,800, that type of thing. And then if we don't hit the all-time high this summer, we hit it in Q4. So with that being said, that pulls up some of these other stuff, the Solanas, the XRPs, the ADAs, all of these, the Polkadots, and some of the mid caps and newer blue chips. I guess you could throw hype in there, probably on the borderline. Some of these tokens that probably need to see a lift as well, but they'll get that lift, and those ones will probably run really hard because they're new. You know what I mean? And people will say, hey, this is new, this cycle to retail coming in, it's going to run. It's so, I'm so hype on it because of this, that, and the other. So I agree with you. I think this could really create, one of those exciting situations to where everything runs, at the same time.
Yeah, man, really excited. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped for sure. Let's kind of jump into the crypto fear and greed here. I'm expecting this to be kind of low. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So last week we were at 70. Yesterday we were 70. We're lower than 70. But we're higher than 65. Where do you think we are?
67.
Boom.
Oh,
nose.
Oh, wow.
Dead center. Okay. So I do feel like we're back in the 70s. I don't know. Maybe not. What do you think?
What, by tomorrow?
By 8 p.m. tonight, yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like right now is a little too early to get excited. You know what I mean? Yeah. I do. Like ETH just went to 37.40, and it looked like dominance was coming back down. But I'm gonna say we either stay put here, or if we pull back from where we are, maybe 66, 65 tomorrow. But I mean, I'm just saying I don't want to jump the gun with it. But if we do continue on, then yeah, we'll possibly see that 70. What I'm seeing right now is just like a hesitancy a little bit.
Yeah.
We know we got to 37.40. People are excited, probably jumped in some longs. You know what I mean? Because they're excited that, oh, it's not over. It's not over. But I mean, that to me, that sounds like a really good way to get people to get buy longs.
Bull trap. No, 100%. 100%. All right, let's get into that crypto, Bitcoin crypto price action brought to you guys by Artura. Artura, guys, they are live on Botonics. There's not many traders over there. Bridge over there. Get on their leaderboard. It's a very, very small, guys. Let me just show you for a second. You guys have an opportunity. Just go over to the compete area, and then you guys can potentially be on this list. There's only 12 traders so far. You guys need to get over here. You need to start playing with this. This is easy money, guys. It's easy, easy, easy. You can trade $5. Gets you on this list. I highly recommend you guys get on this list. They're giving away, potentially points, and their points system is going to be available really soon. You need to be on this list, guys. Get over there. We put out a tutorial video. It's on our show. It walks you through exactly how to bridge over. It's super simple. You honestly just send Bitcoin to Botonics, and then you go to a DEX and swap for PUSD, and then you're able to just, like I said, $5-10 gets you on this list. Get on here, guys. Come on. It's free money. Definitely want our community to win, and we want you guys to be a part of the Artura community as well. So definitely check that out. Check out their Discord as well. If you guys need any help with anything, they're very helpful in there, and they can teach you actually how to trade and stuff like that too. So definitely check out Artura.finance. And remember, Botonics is giving away Bitcoin. They're incentivizing their chain with Bitcoin. So when you're using Artura and it's live, you're actually going to be getting some Bitcoin from Botonics as well. We're going to be doing an airdrop video this Sunday. For you guys, we're gonna walk you through basically how to maximize your Botonics Bitcoin airdrop. Definitely want to check that out, guys. Check everything out at Artura.finance.
Hey Shizzy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, but
okay.
I think you're frozen, right?
Yeah, everything's just froze. All right, let me try to get this restarted here. Can you go to roll call real quick, and then and then we'll get back to this.
Sounds good. All right, we're gonna jump the roll call, guys. Let's see. First is here, guys, and so I'll bring up my chart. All right. So it does look like it is Webdro today. Congratulations, Webdro. You, my friend, have win number 36. Man, you and Lackey are battling out for that frog, man. Absolutely amazing. The frog is worth over $3,600 right now, so that is absolutely awesome. So over $1,200 right now. So you definitely want to be able to get be on this list, guys. Be on it, Lackey Lukey. Maybe next year we'll do something else where we'll do like a raffle, and so it gives everyone the opportunity. But I do like how we're doing it this year, and we're going to see how it happens. But yeah, shout out to Webdro. Shout out to Lackey Lukey 1 and 2 here. Jump into the rest of the comments here. We got my man Hydro Sapien. Shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate you being with us every single day. Hydro Sapien again. Tim Baker, AOD Art himself. Shout out to you, my friend. He said fast. Yeah, those guys are fast as lightning. Rare Stats Dom is here. Shout out to Rare Stats Dom every single day, buddy. Appreciate you. Mats is here. Merlin Lucky is here. Chota is here. Shout out to Chota every day. Chota 1+ at is here. Lackey Lukey hops in with a congrats. Webdro. Yeah, man, you guys are awesome. Bitcoin is Truth is here. Abstract is here. Shout out to Abstract. Chips and Dips is Thirsty Thursday. Yes, sir. K99 Musk is bearish. Yeah. Well, he's bearish for Tesla, not really Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto is here. Sell everything. No, I wouldn't do that. Crypto winner. I'm so bullish right now, and you were right to be. Vader Time is here. He said it's time. Spindrift is here. Shout out to Spindrift. No is here. Nighthawk. Shout out to you, my friend. Lackey Lukey. Superfan is here. Shout out to Superfan. Chief Axel is here. Cash Cats with the coffee and the donuts and the dog go to the moon. Shout out to you, my friend. I appreciate you being here every single day. Alpha Gamer, what's up, dude? What's going on? I will be hanging out with Alpha Gamer later today in the Ordinal Hive space. Definitely check that out later. Rick G is here. Long live BRC 22.0. Bro, I hear Francis. I was actually listening to him this morning. He was talking about BRC 2.0. He's really bullish on it. Maybe it's time for me to start really looking over there. I see there's a bunch of ordinals that are like they're doing like the pre-rune era, but like they already have some BRC 20, so I don't get it. Like, why would you do the pre BRC 2.0 when you can just buy like I don't know sats and order? I don't know. I gotta look into it, Rick. And then Stan's here. What's the channel's stablecoin of choice? I personally like PYUSD. Like that's just kind of my stablecoin choice because I'm using Venmo and PayPal right now a lot. as my on and off ramp. So I'm actually going through, I'm buying PYUSD, sending that over, swapping that to Ethereum, or, you know, or the other way around and stuff like that. So, or I'm buying Bitcoin with it on other side. So I'm actually PYUSD. What's your stablecoin choice?
USDC for now. You know, that's what I use the most.
Yeah.
USDT probably come in second. I just felt like I use that the most. But you know, if there's going to be opportunities for other stable coins to earn, I'll definitely be looking at that. So
yeah, 100%, man. But let's jump into Bitcoin price action.
All right, let's do it. Sorry about that, guys, but it looks like I got things back going here. We appreciate you guys. Let me remove that and add this back. Hanging out for or waiting for me to get that all situated. But if you could help us out on the YouTube side, smash that like, sub to the channel, turn your notifications on, all that great stuff. And then on the X side, smash that like as well, share the space, and then abstract as well, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you guys helping us out here. All right, let's take a look at the Bitcoin price action for the hour chart. It looks very, good on the hour side of things. We have crossed over 119,000. We did wick all the way up here to 119,500 though, but it doesn't look like we've come out of the buy pressure just yet. We actually haven't even reached over to overbought territory, so that tells me we probably have some further way up to go here, and that might actually bring Ethereum back up to where it was earlier as well. So Bitcoin looks pretty good right here. Let's take a look at what the support and resistance levels are telling us at 119. So at 119, definitely some support, stronger than the resistance there. Right above, it's more balanced out. Below, we have support as well, just really dominating there and below. So, we look like we're in a good spot. It doesn't really get too lopsided on the resistance side until maybe we get to 119,200, but there's not very much volume in these areas, right? So depending on how big the bids are, it's really going to push it one way or the other. It looks like some big sell bids are coming in right now though, and kind of pushing that up. So we'll see if this starts to deplete the buy pressure there. But again, on the stochastics, we haven't even reached to overbought yet. We're still kind of hanging out underneath that 80-point mark there. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. All right. Well, they just wanted to jump to the daily. All right. So the hour chart was telling me that, possibly we have some further up to go to, and it makes sense too if they're going to grab that liquidity. If we, get to 120, it's about $400 million worth of liquidity, I think, total, but they already grabbed some. But let's take a look here on the 4-hour. The 4 hours kind of indecisive right now. Right. So it's going to depend on what we get in the short term from that hour chart. Right. If we get an aggressive push up, we, go past 120, we push past 120, we hang around there, then we'll probably go into some buy pressure. I don't, see it that way necessarily, just because, I don't think I just don't have that feeling that Bitcoin is ready to push through 123. And I think that would be the whole purpose of getting through 120, 121, 122 to be, knocking on new all-time high. But we do still have 7 days left in this month. And so, it could happen. There's still people that, think we go to 130 or higher. And if that is true, then we need to bust through 123. So could it happen today? Absolutely. Anything can happen, but it's unlikely in my opinion. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong, because then that would actually turn the 4-hour chart into the favor of the buy pressure. All right, let's take a look here at the daily chart here for Bitcoin. So the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum right now is, Ethereum had its hyper aggressive kind of run last week, right? So on the Ethereum side for the daily, we're not in sell pressure just yet. But for Bitcoin, we've been kind of starting a little bit of that sell pressure on the MACD, at least, showing us since the 21st. So, how long do we stay into sell pressure? We had a very good run of buy pressures going all the way back to the 25th of June. It wasn't super aggressive in the beginning, and it looked like we wouldn't get too much, of a push up. And then bam, we head to that new all-time high of 123, and we really got some good buy pressure. Now it seems like it's exhausted quite a bit, right? So let's look at the pattern here, right? It's not your typical bull flag. You know, it definitely could fall into the mold, but you know, typically what you'll see is a pull with, you know, a little bit trending down. And actually, if you look at it that way, it did trend down. And then this could be the, you know, leap up to the next pull here. So we'll see if that happens. If that happens, then yes, we do get past 123, and that will happen in this month. But I don't know. It's the jury's still out. It looked like it was in that typical pattern of, you know, having the pull with some downtrend and then popping off maybe to start that second pull. Maybe this is what's happening right now. Actually, I think that would be good for everything. That would be good for our entire all of crypto if Bitcoin did do that, because then, you know, they would tail Bitcoin. Even if it's a delayed tail, it still would be a bullish you know, movement, price action. But what we need to pay attention to is how Bitcoin reacts after they grab that liquidity. If they get to 120 and they grab that liquidity, do they tag it, you know, at that 120 level? Do they tag it here, grab the liquidity, liquidate, you know, up to, you know, $200 to $400 million worth of shorts, and then just head back down? Or do they grab the liquidity and continually move up and start the next leg up on the daily chart? We're going to find out very soon. We're going to find out very soon. So, all right, let's take a look here at the weekly. Pull in the weekly here. The weekly is going to look good. It's not going to look, you know, nothing to worry about in my opinion. And yeah, so our setup is still there. We haven't had any drastic volatility in terms of like sell downs since we did touch the $113,000 mark. You know, that was after reaching 123. It was that pullback that we had. We haven't had that, you know, and so what happens here? It looks like we're still, you know, bullish in terms of buy pressure on the weekly. This week, you know, ending this week's candle is going to be important. I do think, you know, ending it in a strong bullish sentiment will be vital if we're going to try to reach for the 130 to finish the month. But the setup looks pretty good. Nothing really in these indicators are letting me think that like we're done just yet. And also remember, we got 5 months left to the end of the year. Most of us think that you know, Q4 is going to be our most thriving year this year. And so if that's the case, you know, we could start the next leg up here, and it just might be a couple small candles though for the weekly for a bit with a red candle mixed in there, but it starts that next leg up, right? So that's something to pay a lot of attention to. But yeah, I think we'll probably hang out here for a while on the stochastics for the weekly. We might be like in and out a little bit, you know, dipping below the 80-point mark, but then getting back above it, and then eventually staying up here aggressively to finish the year. But we'll see how this plays out. Ethereum on the hour chart to give us a little bit of today, what we're thinking, right? So this was very, very interesting to see this kind of pop up. But again, Bitcoin was like, okay, I'm ready to go up. Actually, I don't want to look at the hour. I want to look more at the daily, because the daily to me is the most important one for Ethereum right now. So it kind of like what I just showed you with Bitcoin, right? You know, it's that pull, and then it's just behind. It's behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin's daily, you know, Bitcoin ran to 123, and then it pulled back as Ethereum continued on. So Bitcoin has more of a bull flag type of pattern already built in. Ethereum doesn't yet, right? So you can see right here that the MACD looks like it's exhausting on the daily. We saw what happened with Bitcoin when it did exhaust. It started to go into the sell pressure, but it wasn't intense sell pressure. Again, didn't go back to the 113. And so what do we see from Ethereum here if this is the case? We have been in overbought, though, for a while on the stochastic RSI. You can see since June 29th. Do we take a break here? Do we kind of dip in here and hang around here and then pop back up? That could be, you know, something that plays out. But remember, you know, the way that Bitcoin acted when it did go into sell pressure on the daily wasn't too intense. It wasn't too volatile on the downside. So maybe we can expect something like that with Ethereum. The people that are calling 3,100, I just don't see that. I see something like 34, if we do drill down a bit, something like that. But just see this and know that on the daily chart, it is showing exhaustion, which makes complete sense. We had a lot of buy pressure come in last week. So be careful, but also, just you saw how Bitcoin reacted when it went into sell pressure. So, and then, like I mentioned, those two things. How does Ethereum react if Bitcoin jumps up? Does it go up hyper aggressive? Does it bounce out of here and just start another green buying session in the MACD on the daily? Could be possible. Remember, when Ethereum does make that statement that I'm here, alts are going to follow me soon, it no longer pulls back 1.5 times to 2 times as Bitcoin pulls back, as it has done the previous 6 months. At this point, it actually either stays on pace or accelerates even faster. So we're going to see one of those three options that in terms of its behavior, and it's going to give us a lot of information on what to expect for Ethereum and alts for the next 1.5 to 2 months. All right, really quick, I know I've been a bit long-winded here on the weekly chart for the others. So the others, again, once Ethereum said, hey, I am here to lead the charge, the others said, we're going to follow you instead of Bitcoin as much, right? Obviously, Bitcoin does kind of have the overall kind of final say, depending on how volatile it gets. But once, Ethereum says it's time, the others will follow. So, what does that say? That says that, we have right now, we're in a red candle in the weekly for the others, which is everything besides Bitcoin and the top 10. So Ethereum's not even in this formula, but again, they follow Ethereum once Ethereum's ready to go. And so it looks like, it's kind of waiting to see what happens with the ETH, right? Some of these mid caps, the newer tokens and stuff, just had a couple days to really get going, to start heating up. So Ethereum responds in that one way of, if Bitcoin goes up and Ethereum's hyper aggressive to the upside, I think that could be really, really bullish for some of these mid caps, some of these tokens that you guys are holding that are new this cycle. But I don't think it just is up only from here to the end of the year, though. But it could be a level up experience that they all need. A lot of them need it, right? So we'll see if that happens. Bitcoin dominance, like you mentioned earlier, we did have this green candle that looked very strong. Bitcoin was looking strong as Ethereum was pulling back. And then we see this red candle starting to form here. Let's see how strong this red candle develops out to end the day. And then also tomorrow's daily candle is going to be very important. If we get another red candle to follow up and we start to see, can we get below this level right here, which would be the 60.56 mark, right? I don't know. I think if we get past that, then that will be, and Bitcoin is kind of gradually going up. We've that at that point, Ethereum is hyper aggressive to the upside along, kind of as Bitcoin goes up as well. So we'll see what happens there. But right now, it's really important just to pay attention to how the Bitcoin dominance chart looks on the daily, to see if we finish today in a red candle, to see if we have a red candle tomorrow, and if it builds momentum, because today could just be a little bit of a little fake out, little trickery to see what's going on. All right. Crypto bubbles time. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the top 100.
That's new.
Yeah, I think I'm just scroll down a little bit. Yeah. So Pump Fun is down 24.7 cents. Are you surprised?
No, I mean, not after. I mean, I was at first, but then talking to you, you definitely got me bearish on it. And Francis Dune, he's been really, really bearish on it. They're saying this thing could drop another 50%.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, it's at 0.02930. Imagine shorting this at 0.006.
Oh my god!
Like when it got to zero, or like even whenever it first launched, dude. Like that would have been crazy. But yeah, so Pump is down again every day. It is. Gala is pulled back 4.9%. Virtuals has pulled back 9.1%. Jupiter has pulled back 5.3%.
Real quick though, on Pump, at what point is it time to go long on that? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like if a token just kept going up, you eventually be like, all right, time to short this thing. Did you get that opposite feeling from Pump at all, or no?
If they release their new whatever it is, like
Okay.
ecosystem
So
chain.
you basically need some type of news, you know, some type of something. It can't just be like, okay, it's too beaten down. I'm right.
Maybe if like we're in a full blown like alt season, then maybe. But I'll tell you, man, like just dabbling in the trenches of Solana, like Pump's having a hard time. You look at market share; they're losing market share every day. To Bonk, which I'm not
Yeah.
seeing a bunch of great stuff come out of Bonk either. But at the same time, it's like where is their their angle? Where's their sales pitch at this point? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They don't have one. And so they need one. It's no longer we dominate and we don't give a crap because we make so much money, which they still are rich as heck, right? Like all this stuff. But like in terms of a product for consumers to use and to be bullish about and to really like, you know what I mean? Like the one thing about like developing a cultish community is that you get these people that become extremely passionate about your project. And like I think Richard Hart and I just saw Stan's comment there about Hex. You know, he actually, him and his entourage or whoever was, you know, promoting Hex and Pulse and all that stuff, they were masters at being able to, first of all, curate a cultish community, number one, for sure. MLM style that actually they should have went into MLM because I think they would be the biggest MLM company. Anyways, but also how to handle the negative backlash that they would get. Like Pump doesn't care. Like Pump just doesn't care. Like there's so much negative sentiment, but he doesn't care. Elon doesn't care.
No.
You know what I mean? He's and you can tell by his tweets and stuff. He's very cocky about it. He's very, I think memes are gonna make a comeback. Excited, like, like give them something. People want like something of substance, and so that's why I think it's gonna be really hard. That's just my opinion, though. But all right, Fartcoin pulled back 12.9%. That is not good. Did you know Fartcoin was a CTO?
Community takeover? No, I did no idea.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Imagine being a part of that CTO and it going to where it is now. That would be, dude. That probably made so many people rich in that.
But like, why was it considered AI then?
I don't know. Maybe at first it was started that way. I think there's like a terminal aspect to it. Okay. Like, you know how like they do like the Grok terminals and stuff like that. I think that's why. But all right, Aptos down 6.6%. Let's go into some memes here. Bonk up 9.3%. So Bonk is thriving as Pump is not thriving. It's doing the opposite.
That's true. It's the counter trade there for sure.
Yeah, and then IP, I don't know what this is, but it is up 17.4%. Dog Whiff down 9.6%. Immutable X down 5.7%. Caspa down 6.7%. IOTA down 3.7%. HBAR down 3.4%. Aptos already hit on that. Let's SPX is down 2%. Jasmy down 5.3%. Quant down 2.3%. Where's Hex at? I think it's on the next one. Trump down 2.9% and Stacks down 1.9%. Let's take a look at the top 200 here. Get into that. All right, let's talk about the positives here. Syrup, which is the Maple token, is up 13.4%. Pulse X is up 5.3%. Pulse is up 5.4%. Hex is up 6.3%. There's your Hex Stan right there. And then we got Axel up 6.1%, and Useless is up 12.2%. Meme coin on Solana as well. On the downside, we got Ape down 7.8%, Peanut down 8.5%, Starknet down 4.5%, Frax down 9.6%, Eigenlayer down 2.5%, Mog down 3.2%, Kava down 3.1%. And where is our guy at? Did Dog get pushed out of the top 200?
No way. No, it's like 150. It's
okay. All right. Yeah, it's down 1.7%. Right next to Snack and down 1.2%. But that's going to be the Bitcoin price action and alt price action. Hopefully that, gives you guys a little insight of what the sentiment is currently, because it's bouncing around everywhere.
Are you bullish on Snack? I know you're bullish on Dog, but are you bullish on Snack, which is basically the dog of Cardano?
I mean, I think it's not going anywhere. You know,
Yeah.
so it's as long as Cardano is alive, it will always reign
Okay.
supreme. And so I think that it's probably one of the safest plays in Cardano is SNEC, because I don't see it going to zero. There's too much stabilization and foundation with it, just like Dog.
Gotcha. That definitely makes sense. If you like go to categories and like I'm gonna go to category, go to meme coins, and kind of I'm just curious because I am looking at like stuff potentially to get into, right? So if you go to the meme coins, where does SNEC line up over there? Do you think is it all Solana tokens? Let me get great for me.
It's gonna be obviously like, you know, your OG ones. You have Doge, you have Sheeb, Flocky, Pepe. Then it will flow into some Solana stuff. Basically like that.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, you're right. Doge, Shiba, Pepe, Bonk, Pudgy Penguins. Definitely, it seems like it's a winner. Do you think Pudgy eventually gets above Shiba?
I think
It
it
becomes that number two.
I think it contests Pepe.
Okay.
I don't know if it, like, Shiba's got a pretty good. How far is Shiba and the difference between Shiba and Pepe?
So Pepe is 5 billion, while Shiba is 8.1. So 5.4 and 8.1. So I mean 40%. Pepe is potentially a little higher. And then you have like Pudgy is 2.5 and 8.1. So Pudgy's only a 4x away from number 2.
Yeah. So I mean, I could see that happening. But that's if, you know, Sheeb doesn't thrive up, and like, we don't know what the Ethereum ecosystem is going to be like in terms of energy when Ethereum's at like 5,500. You know what I mean? But I will say that, like, Pudgy Penguins definitely has that opportunity to make a lot of noise.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. Yeah, with Luca Nets, man, honestly, 4 years from now, could it be number 1?
Oh man, I don't. Maybe
Doge just
just
has that community and just that.
yeah. I mean, but I think Doge might be too far to catch, just because, like,
Gotcha.
as the space progresses,
Yeah.
Doge will continually progress in market cap, at least, right? Price point is irrelevant. Unit price is irrelevant, in my opinion, to Doge, because it's, you know, obviously in bear markets it can pull back pretty substantial in price, but like the market cap growth is where it is, because the supply is always going to be increasing.
No, that's true. 100%. I couldn't agree more. Dog with Hat, is this still a viable meme coin for staying in the top 100, or do you think there's other one? I just think there's so many other better ones than Dog with Hat, because Ansem completely just went away from it, right? Ansem just kind of he doesn't tweet about it at all anymore. Do you potentially see Dog passing Dog with Hat here? I mean, Dog is getting ripped right now. I mean, the beatdown is just continuous right now for dog on Bitcoin.
So I think Dog passes Dog with Hat for sure.
Yeah.
But we're not going to see that until I know that people are like, what are you talking about? It's like almost a 3x away from the market cap. But you got to remember that, like, Dog is going to thrive exponentially more than Dog with Hat during when retail is fully back. You know, and when I say fully back for this cycle, whatever that looks like, right? But that Dog is like a token that is going to attract the masses because of the viral effect. All the influencers know about it. They know that, like, it's kind of a ticking time bomb, but it's not going to thrive until you have the masses here. And that's whenever I think it passes a lot of these. But Dog with Hat, yeah, I felt like it lost a lot of its mojo whenever, like, Fart Coin started to really, you know, come to the forefront of the Solana ecosystem. And then you're dealing with SPX as well.
Yeah.
You know, so there's too many, like, monsters that have came on top in the Solana ecosystem after Dog with Hat, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think they're fighting for mindshare over there. And that's how I look at it.
It's crazy though. It's ETH. I'm sorry. Well, Dogecoin is Dogecoin, and then you got ETH, Solana, ETH, Solana. I don't know what the hell this thing is on. I guess it's Solana.
Which one?
And then meme core. It's actually
I think it is on Solana. You can see no, it looks like it's BNB.
Okay, well BNB. Okay, so that's what I was thinking too. I was like, BNB really doesn't have anything up here, right? So you got this is on base. I think Mog's Ethereum as well. No, well it has an ETH address and it's on SoulScan. It's on both, I guess. Mog.
I think it might have been launched on Ethereum. I'm not sure, but
it was launched on Ethereum, definitely 100%. But I didn't know it was on Solana.
But I think there was like a migration to base or something.
Gotcha.
Maybe with Mog.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that is weird that like BNB doesn't have their staple meme token. I'm sure there is one that we just maybe were.
I don't know though. Look at it. That's obviously not here, right? Not Box, not Trump, not Floki. I mean, meme core. I mean, unless that's the new one there. What's Biddle Don? This thing's over $1 billion.
Biddle Don?
No, BNB.
Okay. But no one talks about that.
No.
Ever.
Have you ever heard of it?
No. Biddle
Pancake Swap, it does insane.
Build on what is that? Build on is what it is.
Okay. No, it's not Build on.
Build on. I thought you said Biddle. I thought you said Biddle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. All right, let's get off this. We have a few more topics to get into here. So, all right. So, Hong Kong to criminalize unlicensed stablecoin promotions from August 1st. Violators face $6,000 fines and up to 6 months in jail. So I went and did some research. Under the Genius Act, you can't legally issue or sell a dollar-pegged payment stablecoin in the U.S. unless you're approved permitted payment stablecoin issuer. Here on Bitcoin, we do have multiple stablecoins that we know that don't have license. Whether that's BUSD, which is the one decentralized one on altcoins, and then you have Hermetica, Scott Bound, and these other ones. Do you think they should be worried now? The Genius Act might have been really bad for them. Now looking back on it.
Well, I think they got to rush to get this done because I think whoever gets this done first gives them the best chance of winning. Because what does that process look like? First of all, is it really difficult to get one? Do you have to have a certain? I'm sure there's going to have to be all types of regulatory, collateralized, all this stuff, extra, right? So this might actually come out and start, hate to say it might come out and start shutting down some, not them specifically, but like the entities themselves might start shutting down or saying, okay, we're going to start doing business in this region and not over there yet. And so we'll see. But once unfortunately, this is where investments and capital and runway, and not necessarily runway, but capital backing comes into play, because when you have VCs or you have just big, large institutional investors in your stablecoin or your company, they typically have the relationships to get stuff like this fast tracked, right? So we're going to see who's going to come out on top, in terms of Bitcoin stablecoin. And it's going to be very interesting because, there are, like you mentioned, there's actually way more than the public would think about, like someone coming over from Ethereum, if they found out how many people actually have a stablecoin over here or building one, they'd be shocked, I bet.
No, I agree 100%. But I think they all die, dude. Like I hate to say it, but I think if you're not USDC, USDT, PYUSD, if you're not one of these stablecoins, I don't think you can exist. I mean, it's only a matter of time before we see these on Bitcoin, right? I mean, we already see USDC and USDT now. Can these these smaller stablecoins survive, or are they just done, like dead on arrival, DOA? Would you be comfortable holding any?
Well, so that question is different. I feel like, probably not right now because, we just heard this, right? So, even, you know, one interesting thing that we talked about yesterday when we had Stan on from Sats Terminal for the segment was you know, there hasn't been any like huge hacks or anything over in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Yes, we did have some vulnerabilities that were exposed,
Yeah.
but they were taken care of, and then everybody was paid in full. You know, that hasn't happened very much in the other ecosystems. You kind of lose if you lose, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and so I say that because I think if this were to come, you know, be an issue and you were holding some stable coin, that company would, you know, replace it with Bitcoin or a matching stable coin or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but with that being said, I wouldn't even chance it myself. I would just stay out until the first, you know, project starts to say, okay, we're certified or we have this PPSI.
Yeah, 100%. For me though, I would not put any money into any stablecoin that's not, you know, one of the big players. Like I would. There's no chance in hell I would feel comfortably holding Hermetica, holding Bound, holding even this USDB. Honestly, I'd feel more comfortable holding USDC Starknet. At least, you know, I'm counting on Circle and Starknet, which is $2 billion corporations, right? So I don't know. There's no chance in hell I would invest in a stablecoin provider that is not licensed. And two, I don't even know if I would even if they were licensed. Honestly, I think a lot of these have to pivot soon. And I feel bad saying that because I do like the guys from America. I like Scott from Bound. I do like the other ones, but I just think DOA, man, just there's no chance. This Genius Act, it was in my opinion was the worst thing to happen to a lot of smaller stablecoins providers.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. It's gonna be interesting, but I do agree that it does set like the next threshold of, you know, the ones that are going to succeed or not, right? So it will show. I think it will show strength in that aspect, and not saying the others are weak. It's just sometimes, you know, they have like that connection to get that done,
Yeah.
right? Or whatever. And so we'll see. I have confidence. Like, I'm actually the most confident in Bitcoin builders over every other like sector in the space, just because they grind, they have passion. It's not easy over here, you know, because they're not making tons of money, you know, but they still stick at it. So we'll see what happens.
No, 100%. I mean, I feel the same way. I want them to succeed. I mean, looking through this Genius bill, I mean, there's jail time involved now. Like, we're not just talking about, you know, fines and lose your company. You can potentially get some of these founders in jail. So,
Yeah.
all right. That's all I have. I'm gonna do a quick runes market update here. So we did talk about. I'm gonna go to the 1 day. We'll go volume and make sure that I have the freshest stuff here. We got dog. Dude, dog is almost at 3 sats now. It has just been kind of down only here. How are you feeling about dog on the 1 day? Not looking good, bro. Are you worried at all?
No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it. I know that once it's time, it's going to take off. So actually, I think it's a good opportunity personally, like, you know, looking at the market cap. But people are, you know, probably not super happy about it because, you know, they see other runes thriving. But remember, dog kind of kicked this off. It did get to 500 million.
Yeah.
But we're not there at that hyper aggressive level yet, guys. Let's say we take a quick break here for 2-3 weeks and it gets hyper aggressive at the end of August or September. I could see a huge run for dog that's trying to get to 700, 800, a billion. So I think it's a waiting game, and the people that are patient, in my opinion, will get rewarded. We'll see how it plays out, though. I mean, I don't have eyes into the future.
Yeah, 100%. If you're looking here, let's say you're looking at Gizmo at just under 11, Billy around 15.5, Mim at 80. Out of these three right here, which one are you the most confident in that'll have the most X's? Not, you know, the most X's here. Obviously, Mim to get an X would be 160 million. Billy would be 30 and Gizmo being 20. Which do you think will have the most X's by, let's just say, by the end of this year?
That's a
It's
hard
fun food
question.
for thought, right? Though, isn't it
Yeah.
like fun to think about? Like I do this to myself all the time.
I think there's a sneaky one that we haven't talked about, and I think it's Bro Bear because it's at what, like two point something million.
Yeah. Let me see.
And I bring them up because they were in that like image too.
Yeah,
So I
they
don't
were.
know if they're well. Dang,
Seiko hamster too.
did they just drop off?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
they're
just that's the only problem is if you do buy some of these, you're not able to sell them. Like
yeah.
you're not. I mean, the day-to-day volume is almost it's zero, right, on the daily, right? So that's like the only problem for me. I know at least if you know I really needed to get out of here, I could. You know what I mean? Like definitely could. On Gizmo, Billy, and they all have liquidity on DotSwap, so you can use stuff like Sats Terminal and stuff like that. But what do you think though? Out of these three, most X's, just these three.
um, I mean, I would this stuff. It's either obviously Billy and Gizmo because they're
Yeah,
smaller. I would say what's Billy right now? 15.
15. Billy hasn't ran yet, so that's why I'm saying Billy. Gizmo's already up 3x since July 1st, right? So I actually think Billy. I actually bought some more Billy this morning, thinking that potentially this is the next one to move. I mean, I think 45K is easy for Billy, even in the next like 2 weeks.
45 million, you mean?
Up 45 million, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's a 3x.
Yeah,
So going from 10 to 3. I mean, yeah, so I think they have a lot of support and probably firepower because that's what it seemed like last time, right? Whenever it
yeah.
ran up to 155. So I would say Billy.
Billy, yeah, yeah, I'm with you there because I really thought about this morning, right? So I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, you know, where should I put this $1,000 at, and I just put it in Billy because I just feel that Billy hasn't. But I kind of feel the community a little bit, and everyone's kind of waiting for Dog to move, right? Do you feel like that? Do you feel like everyone's kind of waiting for Dog to move again? Even though Mim's kind of been a leader, like if you go to let's go to the daily by volume, I think Mim. Okay, Dog actually overtook Mim by a lot. So for it was 2 days in a row where Mim was leading. Dog's actually leading now in volume again.
Yeah. I do think that like Dog is something that's going to lead everybody to hyper aggressive like push up, but I think
Yeah,
what we saw with like Mem is obviously some influence with the Kraken, chatter and stuff like that, and same thing with Gizmo and Billy did kind of rise back to 717 or 17 million, but
yeah,
um yeah, this is just the first little iteration in my opinion, like the first like energy that's been injected. If you think about last year, I think before that huge run up that started in October, there was a little build up to that. So you start to see like some of these runes, but Dog definitely needs to get back to a billion. That's what
yeah,
everybody's like talking about. Is like Dog should be at $1 billion market cap. Why is it not there? Why is it not there? They have such a strong community, and you're gonna have disgruntled people, but you got to remember, like, look at like some like XRP, like their community. Dude, like if you just went off of price action alone, they should have lost their entire community for a
yeah.
while. But they didn't. So if you build it right, which is what Dog did, they will, weather through this. But it's still you're going to have that disgruntled sliver that's going to be, constantly bringing it up and stuff like that. But that doesn't matter because you've built so much of a foundation that like you can push through. And I mean, look, dude, the Dog got down to what 200.
Yeah.
I think it got to like 180 or something crazy like that.
185. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah,
185.
yeah, like earlier this year. And so, for them to be able to keep their community strong and you go to year to date on Cookie DAO, year to date is the one that shows Dog
Yeah.
being in the mind share, the largest mind share for meme. So I just think like this is kind of like a test of like the people that deserve the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good for dog holders right now. I know, but like at the same time, you got to remember there's other tokens and stuff that went through this that ended up being hugely
True.
rewarded.
Yeah, 100%. How do you feel about Lobo here at 8.7? It is still up about 100% since its first little run there from 3 to almost 8. Do you feel like Lobo can be something? Lobo definitely does feel like it's following Dog. Like, do you think Lobo is potentially a derivative and it kind of moves with Dog? Because look, 2.7% every day I check it. And if Dog's down 1%, Lobo's down 1%. If Dog's up like 2%, Lobo's up 4%.
So it was more of a derivative, I feel like in the beginning, but like you're saying that you're starting to see that the correlation as well come back.
Only on
So
the downside. So like it moves with dog on the downside, but like on the upside, it almost doubles every time. Like if dog's up 2%, Lobo's up 4. If dog's up 5%, Lobo's up 10. But on the downside, they follow each other pretty, I mean, almost to the T, to exactly.
I mean, I think that's what you want it to do, though. If
Yeah.
it's doubling up to the upside,
Yeah.
and then it only matches to the downside, so that's pretty good.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, I'm bullish on dog, but if Lobo is going to act like that, why wouldn't you just be in Lobo?
Because you just don't. I don't know. I don't see the community strength that you see with Lobo, but it's because I don't interact with a lot of them. But you said that you see a lot
Yeah, they're
more.
strong.
So I mean, 59,000 holders. I still don't think it has that like violent
Yeah.
like the Billies can have or the pups can have and stuff like that. So I would look at it as maybe what if a 10% possibly type of situation, but it's not even that right now. It's not 10% of dog. Like what is Lobo's
No,
market cap?
it's
less than
barely
that. Yeah.
0.1%. Yeah.
So
0.2%. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's not going to go away, but it will thrive too. Once they do have, the Kraken does bring them on and stuff like that. So it could be a good play.
All right. And I think that's our show for you guys today. Really not much in the news today. I apologize for that. We did our best for what we were working with, but I had some fun today, like always. Really appreciate, we have 350 people here on Twitch, X, and YouTube. Appreciate every single one of you guys, not to mention everyone on Kick, Rumble, Abstract, and Spotify later. Appreciate every single one of you guys, man.
Absolutely. We appreciate all of you guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. And without our partners, we wouldn't be here as well. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. They support runes and altcoins. So if you're looking to swap either of those, you got to do it at satsterminal.com. Why? Because you can earn Amber points. Amber points are an XP that are going to be towards a give back for early adopters of the platform. So take advantage of that. Also, they're going to find the most liquid and best price tokens for you guys. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. Follow their X account and make sure you join their community as well so you can get updated on new updates with their platform, product offerings, and the Amber point system. And then Emblem Vault, man, those guys are crushing out. Like I just saw Hustle just now. I know Stan was excited about that. Hustle, it's right at $10 million market cap. So really excited. Congratulations to you guys that got on the Hustle. But congratulations to the team. Emblem Vault has been building in crypto for a long time. Started in 2015, I believe, in bringing over rare Pepes to Ethereum. Later in the their life cycle of their company, but you're going to be able to jump your ordinals, your rare Pepes and stuff to Ethereum. Right now you could do a Taproot Wizard to Ethereum and take a loan out against it on the Gandhi platform. So their plan is to be able to do that for other chains like Abstract, Base, Ethereum, etc. Solana too is what we're hearing. But they're going to be adding the Bitcoin ecosystem, or the Bitcoin tech stack, I should say, to their AI agent tool, Hustle, that we just talked about. And you're going to be able to utilize him to do the vaulting for you on your behalf later once that's integrated there. But speaking of Hustle, Hustle is an AI tool. It's, in my opinion, one of the top tools in the industry. You can use Hustle to guide you through Solana right now, the trenches of Solana. Ask it questions like, hey, Hustle, get me 2 to 5 safe 2x plays in the Solana ecosystem. Will bring back the options for you, tell you why. Use them as an assistant, as a tool in your toolbox. And then also he can do conditional trading for you. You can say, hey, buy fart coin when it pulls back 20% and then sell it whenever we have 100% profit from there. Really exciting stuff, guys. Make sure you're checking that out. Right now it is a free to use entire platform, but that will change. They will put a business model in there that it integrates the Hustle token into it. And at that point, you'll have a free version, which is very limited, but make sure you're testing it out now at agenthustle.ai to see if this is for you. Also, they have a TGE for their Bitcoin rune. That's going to be the main token for their ecosystem. Right now, you can go to OpenSea and search Emblem Founder Vaults, and you can purchase one of these NFTs. And these NFTs are going to open up during their TGE in October, and you will have a Bitcoin wallet in there with the seed address, seed phrase, and all that stuff only that you have access to, and you will have your Bitcoin runes in there once the TGE is here. They have some other incentives they're talking about, but we'll let them announce those first. But make sure you're heading over there and head over to emblem.vision to learn more today. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage dex of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to trade Bitcoin fungibles, you will be able to do so very soon at Artura.finance. Stuff like Dog Over the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, Ordi, Sats, stuff like that is what they have planned. Also, they have some really cool RWA stock stuff that you're going to be able to trade too. So that's really what's going to separate them. They have a really awesome community as well. If you're looking to start or be a part of a trader community, head over to their Discord. Make sure you're following them on X at Artura Finance. And then also you can earn XP on their platform as well by making trades, doing all these things. But the most valuable, or the most that you can get your XP, is going to be adding liquidity to the vaults. And you can start earning passively that way as well. They launched on a Bitcoin layer 2, the Spider Chain Botonics. And by just making transactions and utilizing their platform, you earn points on the Botonics side. Botonics is going to do a give back as well to their users. So take advantage of that. Head over to Artura.finance to learn more today. And then Fluid Tokens, the UTXO wizard devs of the Bitcoin ecosystem, they also build in the Cardano ecosystem. If you are on the Cardano side, you can add liquidity to their Aquarium platform and earn Babel fees that way. And then they also have a automatic payments platform application that they have on the Cardano side. If you pay your devs in ADA, you can set that up and not have to worry about it. Just set it and forget it. And then on the Bitcoin side, if you are looking to stake on Bitcoin layer 1, you can do so with Fluid. Fluid has staking vaults that you can stake DOG and earn altcoins. That's coming in season 3. It's going to be really exciting. Should be at the end of this month or early next month. You can either stake DOG to earn altcoins or stake altcoins to earn dogs. Okay, there it is right there. They got the diesel vault right there active. So looks like they are quicker than I thought. So that's really, really cool. Also, they have an airdrop tool. If you look at in their menu, it says airdrop. There's 2 options. You can either airdrop rooms or altcoins. It's really simple. You can either upload a CSV file or you can do it manually. It's really simple. Head over to fluidtokens.com. Join their Discord if you have any questions as well. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet they are building for the best UX and UI for users. They support Bitcoin. You can trade Bitcoin runes directly in their application. They partnered with Sats Terminal to make that happen. Or on the Cardano side, you can trade directly for Cardano tokens, as they partnered with Dex Hunter to make that happen. They're going to be adding support to Sui very, very soon, and other ecosystems in the future. So stay tuned there. Make sure you're following them as well on their X, and you can head over to Tokyo.io to find all of their socials to follow them and learn more there. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI. They have their AI Wizard 0.03 version, which can guide you through the Merlin Chain ecosystem. It can do DeFi applications or acts for you like staking and swapping. And speaking of staking, you can help secure this chain in their proof of stake system by 3 options. The first one is Bitcoin. To earn more Bitcoin, you can earn up to 21% and a minimum of 8%, but it averages out to be about 16% APR. And then that gets locked up until September 30th. So just know that lockup goes until the 30th. And then you have 2 other options with Merlin Chain Token, which it was thriving yesterday, got to 16 cents. But there's 2 options. There's the flexible day-to-day, so where you can stake your Merlin Chain token and then earn 15% APR. There is a 7-day cool-off period if you do withdraw that, but you can withdraw your rewards every single day, and you can create like a compound interest type of situation there. And then they have the 6-month bonded option, which allows you to earn 45% APR. Same thing, you can claim your rewards every single day, and obviously locked up for 6 months. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more there. Lastly is our partner Ordinal Hive, which is live now, ordinalhive.io. You can list your ordinals here. You can buy ordinals. They're going to find the cheapest ordinals around for you guys. Also, they have really cool tools like live mempool insights. If someone accidentally fat-fingered a no monkey, you can actually grab that real quick. They'll show you. Also, you get your Bitcoin right away whenever you sell something here. You don't have to wait 10 minutes, 50 minutes for the block. So head over to ordinalhive.io and join their community as well. We're going to be jumping into space with them here in about an hour and a half. And so join that space. We thank you so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, and if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io, some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. Check this brand new one out, Bitcoin Runes and Kraken, a match made in Valhalla. I would truly believe that this is the most bullish thing that ever happened to Runes, and that is Kraken onboarding every single day. Absolutely awesome. And then if you guys need a VPN, we have the #1 VPN that I use. Highly recommend getting a VPN. If you don't use Nord, get a free one. There's free ones out there, but Nord is the best, and you can get it through us for just $3.30 a month. Lock it in for 2 years, guys, because if you lock it in for 3 months, when you come back, they're going to force you to pay at $11.59. But don't do that. Lock it in for 2 years like I did, and set it, forget it. See you in 2 years. 2 years is a really long time to not have to worry about paying anything ever again. $66, and I have a VPN. I use it every day. I like exchanges that I like to use are they geo block me. Right? I love MEXC. It's the cheapest place to deposit and withdraw. Like I use it as my bridge. I use it a lot of different things. I do love MEXC a lot, and I won't be able to use it if I didn't have my VPN on because they geo block me. And that's not fair, right? All because of where I'm at. The internet is now borderless. There should be no stopping you from using anything at any time, and a VPN will do that for you. And on top of that, it's about privacy, right? I don't want to give any website my IP address, which could lead to my home address. I mean, at the end of the day, we're Bitcoiners. We very much enjoy our privacy, and we will continue to do that. So definitely want to check out everything that they're building here and be a part and have a VPN and use our link there. And on top of that, if you guys need merch for this event or any event or, anytime, just kind of lounge around, hang out, check out all of our merch here. You have hats, jackets, hoodies, so much more. I'm going to be adding some stuff. I know I keep saying that. I really am going to sit down and just kind of bang out a whole bunch of cool stuff here. But it's for everyone to check everything out here at onchainrevolution.io. And we're live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out. Oh, Stan had a good question here, man. Pepperoni pizza or cheesesteak? What are you choosing?
Oh man, it depends on where the pizza's from.
Yeah,
and the cheesesteak.
Depends where the cheesesteak's from too,
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Hard one for sure. Appreciate you, Stan. And Matt, I didn't see this till now, but Max said thoughts on Satoshi Nakamoto rune.
Interesting one. 20% still out. Let's see if there's some sort of plan with that, but definitely interesting. It could do something crazy or it could just fade back away.
100%. And that's our show, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin controlling. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sacks. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction.